was working with a Mexican cartel. They tell me to turn around, put my hands behind my back, and put handcuffs.
What was in the car?
8 kilos of methamphetamine.
8 kilos?
What I was being charged with, I would be facing 22 to 25 years.
FBI, open up!
The FBI swarming a Miami house and taking a man into custody in the area of Southwest.
So say goodnight to the bad guy.
The agency says the 28-year-old was picked up after the grand jury indicted him and 5 others.
Stephanie, welcome to Honor Among Thieves.
Thank you.
This is gonna be cool. So I heard a little bit about your story. You have a lot of interesting things that are unique. One, you're a woman, so not your typical female experience, right? 2, you beat the feds.
Yes.
It's incredible. And you beat them pro se. Pro se, for the audience, that means she represented herself in court. That is insane. That's really cool. Not only is it 0.001% of the people who ever go to trial win, none of them ever won on their own. So that's pretty cool to hear. So you're from Texas?
I'm from Texas.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about how you grew up. Like, what was it like? Are you born and raised in Texas?
I was born and raised in Texas. I was raised by my mother's single parent.
Okay.
I have 4 siblings, so it's pretty hard on my mom.
Okay. You never met your dad?
I did, but he was never there.
He was never around?
No.
Okay. What part of Texas? Amarillo?
Amarillo.
So you're born and raised in Amarillo?
I was born in Tulia, Texas. And then I moved to Amarillo when I was 25.
Okay.
24 to 25.
Where's Tuya in Texas?
From Amarillo?
Mm-hmm.
It's about 45 miles south of Amarillo.
Is it like a really small town?
Very small.
Okay. Like everybody knew each other?
Everybody knows everybody's business.
Do you guys speak Spanish?
Do I speak Spanish? Very little, but
Okay.
I understand more than I can speak.
That's a thing in Miami. Like, everybody speaks Spanish.
Everywhere.
You can't get around in Miami if you don't speak
Yeah.
Spanish. Almost. But most parts. Where I live in my neighborhood now, no one speaks English.
Yeah, I learned that with the restaurants.
Yeah, you go to Publix, Spanish. Gas station, Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rooted, you know. It's different out west, though, because in Texas and, like, Arizona, New Mexico, California, it's, like, several generations of Hispanic people, so.
It's a different type of Spanish, too, I've noticed.
Right. So, you grew up with your mom. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was school like? What did you like growing up?
It's pretty good. It started getting rough when I was around 8, 9 years old, when my mom's boyfriend started abusing her when I was very young.
Okay.
My little sister's dad.
Okay. How long did that last for a long time?
It lasted for a long time.
Like years?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to think my sister, how old she was. It got really, really bad. I think my sister, so long ago, I don't even remember. I think.
You're not that old. Come on, you look like you're 29.
Oh, no. I just can't remember the ages. She dated him, and then she got pregnant with my little sister, so I want to say maybe a few years.
How did that end? Like, what made that stop?
Ended when he almost killed my mom, and he went to prison for 10 years.
Wow. It must have been hard to experience as a kid.
As a 9-year-old, yes, because you don't know what to do.
Were you all girls? You don't have any brothers?
I have 2 brothers, but they're younger than I am. And I had 2 sisters.
So you're the middle child of 5?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest of 5?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, man, you're the oldest kid. Man, that was rough. Okay. Was that a pattern, like, of your mom's? Like, to be with, or was that the only abusive guy?
No, that's the only abusive that after my dad, then she met this guy.
Okay. What was life like after? What happened?
It was we're more close, tight knit.
It's funny how I mean, obviously, I talk to a lot of people from all different walks of life,
Mhm.
and I've noticed that dark experiences, they do leave scars, but sometimes they happen for the better. Like in your instance, that happened, and your family got closer.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those weird things. Like bad things kind of have to happen to put our brains in perspective, to make us understand what's
Mhm.
important in life, I guess, right?
Well, yes, but at 9 years old, it's kind of hard to.
No, of course, yeah. I get it.
Mhm.
All right, so he goes away. They send him to prison. You're in like elementary school at this point. Wow. Okay. Still in the small town?
So in small town.
Okay. And dad's just left? Like he's just not around
He's still in town, but just not in our lives.
to this day?
He's passed now.
I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. Did you ever have a relationship with him?
I try to push myself on him. He was at my grandma's house, and I would always tell Mom, I want to go to my grandma's. So I try to push myself. Even when I had kids, I would always try to take my kids so they would know their grandpa. But I tried.
He just never cared?
I don't think he was right in the place of his life where I know he wanted to, but I don't think he could.
Mm.
I mean, he could. It's just, I think he was more of wanting to do more, and he couldn't because he wasn't working.
Okay. Was did he ever get in trouble? No, right? He wasn't.
He was a bad alcoholic.
He was an alcoholic.
Mhm.
Oh, that's rough. Okay. All right. Did you ever? Was he an alcoholic like on his own? He never was. You never saw him drunk at the house or anything like that?
No, he was out of the house when I was very young. I don't remember him ever being home.
Okay. All right. So you're young. You and your siblings, your mom, you're all on your own. This guy goes to prison. What's it like? What's a regular day in your life?
She's working all the time to provide for 5 kids. We're trying to help each other cook, clean, get each other ready for school. Trying to help her out and help her load easier.
Were you guys alone in the house a lot?
Yeah.
And you were the oldest. So you kind of had to take care of your brothers and sisters?
My sister, my younger sister that's under me, she kind of took over. I was kind of the one that played around and goofed around. And
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've noticed when there's a lot of siblings, there's always like a mother or father figure amongst the siblings. So, all right, your younger sister. What So you get older, become a teenager.
Mhm.
Tell me about life. Tell me about things that happen.
you're a teenager.
Sure.
I was going to school. I didn't graduate. I dropped out. I got pregnant at 18. I had my baby at 19.
Was he
Um,
like high school sweetheart type thing?
no,
No. Okay.
it's more like a one and done.
Got it. Fair enough. Kind of just being a kid and not being careful and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my teen years was pretty wild. Small town, there's nothing to do. So you just,
Did you act out? Were you like rebellious or?
not really. I just skipped school a lot.
I mean, that's like typical high school stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say you didn't like school?
It's just more about hanging out with friends and being with like the cool crowd, I guess. And
Would you say you were around the wrong people as a kid or not really?
not really.
Okay. All right. So you have a child, which is obviously very life changing. Did you dropped out of school to start raising her?
No, I dropped out before.
Right before.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So you're 19. You have a child. What are you doing? What are you doing in life? What's going on?
Working. My mom's helping me with the baby. Now I'm a single mom, trying to do what I can.
So, what are you doing? Like, what are you working on? What do you think about your future? What do you want for your life? Like, tell me what's going through your mind at that time.
I'm not even thinking. I'm just thinking about working and, buying the essentials for the baby. I'm not thinking about what I want to do in life. That doesn't happen until when I'm like 25, when I make the move to Amarillo.
Is that a big change from the town you were in? Amarillo was kind of like a city compared to where you were?
Amarillo was back then to me like a bigger, more wow, like there's more opportunity.
Okay. And when you get there, what was the plan?
The plan was to get my GED because I dropped out of school and then go to college. I didn't know what I wanted to go to college. I was just, doing my basics until I figured it out. Me and my sister were supposed to start college together, and she lived in Toya still. And she she worked for the sheriff's office in Toya. They were going to pay for her to go to the police academy. And she said, you're working all these crappy jobs. Go to the police academy with me. I thought about it and I was like, okay.
Was that something that you did spontaneously, or did you want to be a cop before?
I kind of think I've always wanted to be a cop. When my mom was abused when I was 9, police swarmed our house, and I would say they saved my mom, because it could have got worse, and she almost didn't make it, but I think police showed up at the right time and, arrested him, and I've always looked up to police, but I never actually thought I want to be a cop when I grew up. That thought never came to my head until my sister was like, hey, go to the police academy with me. And I was like, okay.
All right. So, walk me through, what's the police academy like, going through, like, what, as a single mom, finishing college, all that?
Mm-hmm. And my mom had moved to Amarillo too, so she's helping me. So the police application is that thick. I apply, and I told my sister, I said, I'm going to turn my application in. Do you have yours ready? She don't have it ready, and the deadline's coming up. I'm going to keep telling her, get it done, get it done. Well, she don't get it done, so I was like, I guess I'm doing it on my own. So I submit it, and then you got to wait. I don't remember how long to get a letter back to say, yes, you're accepted, or no. I was denied.
Why?
I don't know. So I went in and talked to the, I think it's, I don't know what his title was, but he was the one that ran the whole academy. I went in and I spoke to him, and I was like, can I talk to you? And he's like, yeah. And I said, I got this denial letter. I said, can you tell me why? I said, I don't have anything on my background. Why? Why did you deny me? He said, this is verbatim what he said. He said, you have a lot of nerve coming in here and asking me why. He said, you have courage. He said, so I'm going to let you in. And I said, okay.
Wow, see?
So
there you go.
So I got in, and I think I started a few months after that.
All right.
It was a 8-month academy.
I can tell that took a lot of effort for you, right? It was like to go up there.
I just wanted to know why. I mean, why deny somebody that
qualifies?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Just give me a reason.
Yeah.
And if he gave me a reason, I'd be like, okay.
All right. So that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that was pretty exciting. You were pretty.
It was exciting, yeah.
Cool. What's the police academy actually like? Like, well, I don't think I've ever had. I mean, I've had cops on before, but your story's a little different. So I'm gonna walk through phases here. Walk me through the police academy. Like, what did you specifically learn? What did you get out of it? What did you think was useful? What did you think wasn't useful?
Well, they split it up in 2 halves. The first half is the book portion, so knowing all the laws and case law, the hard stuff. The second portion is the hands-on, the driving, the shooting, the fun stuff. I learned a lot out of it. I mean, it's cramming everything. I mean, 8 months is a little short to learn a lot of stuff.
I agree.
But it was a lot to learn. The second half was more fun. You get to drive police cars and shooting ranges. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
What do you think was the most important thing you learned there?
Important? I mean, everything. To me, it was like exciting, take it all in.
Later, as a cop, was there anything you wish you would have learned that they would have taught you at the academy?
I can't think of anything, but probably. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they don't teach you that when you're out in the field that happens and you're like, what do I do? Or, there's if you're out alone, who do you call? Or, you're spur of the moment, you can't get on your phone and be like, hey, what do I do? Or you just got to do it.
Do you feel like you were prepared enough to be a cop, or do you feel like there needed to be more preparation in your specific case?
More preparation. I think police officers should have more schooling. I think they just rush the course and then kick you out. But you do get most of your training and stuff from your department. I think that's why they have such a short schooling, because you learn most of the actual out in the field stuff with your department.
What would you say it was lacking?
The interaction, I guess.
Okay. It's important.
Because we interact with each other, learning how to arrest, learning how to just interaction, even on a simple patrol. I mean, we did that with each other, and I'm doing it with another student learning.
Right.
You're not doing it with the civilian out in the streets.
All right. So you graduate the police academy.
I did.
How soon until you actually apply for a job and get hired?
So you have 2 years to find a job, because your stuff starts expiring, or your licenses and stuff start expiring. So you have a 2-year window, and then you have to go and retake these courses. So for those 2 years, I was applying everywhere. I applied for the city. I applied for different towns outside. I got a few callbacks, and then I applied for the community college, and everybody else had me on hold. The community college was the one who actually was like, hey, we need you now. So can you come in and interview, and we'll start you right away. So I was like, I wanted to work right away before everything started expiring. And I was like, okay.
All right. So how long between when you finished the academy and you got hired at the community college?
How long had it been?
Mm-hmm.
Almost the 2-year mark.
So it took you almost 2 years to find a job?
It took me almost 2 years to find a job.
What were you doing in the meantime?
My associate's degree, just going to school.
You were still studying in college?
I was still studying in college.
Cool. All right. So you get hired as a cop. Mm-hmm. Do you keep going to school, or you kind of go to
I keep going to school because you get paid more money if you get your associate's, bachelor's. You get higher pay.
Okay. All right. So when you get hired, what's your first assignment? Like what do they put you to do as a cop?
Campus police is you're more confined to the campus, so you're not like out in the city. Driving from campus to campus, you do run into stuff on the city, so you are allowed to, if you want to, or you can call the city police and be like, hey, I got this. Can you come assist or whatever? So I basically just stayed within the college, just foot patrol, building checks and stuff like that.
Do all college campuses have their own cops?
Yes.
That's interesting. So, because here in Miami, we have Florida International University. It's right by my house. Mm-hmm. And I noticed it's like Florida International University Police. Mm-hmm. That's interesting how like universities have their own police.
Well, a lot of people thought that the college police couldn't do, city patrolling, or they do have jurisdiction. They just choose not to. It's just your preference if you want to do that. The thing is that you have no backup. Campus police, you're there at your own campus and you're alone. So if you do run into something big, what are you going to do? Who are you going to call?
Did you ever have a situation where you encountered something dangerous?
I always had the city police with me.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. City police would use us as their backup. So if there was something within the city, on our property, city would go out there, but they would be like, hey, do you have an officer to assist? So one of us would go and help.
Okay. While you're there with being a campus cop, what's the craziest thing you experienced? Or like one of the craziest calls?
Craziest calls? What do you mean crazy? Like funny crazy or?
Up to you. Whatever you want to tell me. I'll leave it open for interpretation.
I had a drunk guy. He was really, really drunk. We had a big bottle, and it smelled like cinnamon. I don't know what kind of alcohol that is. It just smelled real cinnamon. If I smell it to this day, I want to throw up. Well, the top of the bottle was cracked, and his lip was bleeding, so I know he hit himself or fell or did something.
God.
So I had to arrest him because he's,
drunk on
drunk, yeah, just disturbing everybody, So I arrested him, and while he's in the back of the patrol car, his pants were already like mid, so he swiggles out of him somehow. I don't know. So he's fully exposed and
So he took his pants off in your cop car?
He did, and he's fully has a heart on, and
oh my God,
he keeps spitting on himself like. And I said stop because we got to clean that. I don't want to clean his. I got to clean up his blood. I got to clean up his spit. So I turn around and I noticed that he's spitting on his chest. Well, he's trying to lube himself up.
Oh my God.
So, I stopped talking to him because he's not listening. Well, when I get to the county jail to book him in, he still has his pants down and he's still. So he's like, help me put my pants on. And I said, no, you wanted to do that, so you're going in there like that. So I just took him in, and all the inmates were looking at him. That was pretty crazy.
That guy must have been super drunk.
Yeah, he's drunk.
Oh my God. Okay. That's pretty wild. Did you have a lot of people getting drunk on campus like that?
Yeah, because there was a big park right there. So
you had what, like homeless people?
A lot of homeless people, kids.
I would assume a lot of college parties, that kind of thing.
No, it wasn't a dorm. It
was like a community college?
It's just community college.
Okay. All right, cool. Any other thing that comes to mind? Like any interesting, crazy things that happened when you were caught?
Well, there's a lot, but that was probably the funniest, I guess.
All right. Tell me about like a close call where it was kind of dangerous, but like nothing happened. Like you ended up being safe.
Dangerous. Well, I never had anybody like pull a gun out on me or anything like that kind of dangerous. I mean, we typically didn't deal with stuff like that.
Kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. No one who was like loud or kind of difficult when you were arresting him, anything like that?
We had a one in the park that was I think he was on drugs. I don't know what drug, but he was like superhuman. And it was hard to take him down. Very hard. It took us like 5 of us to take him down.
So kind of like one of these guys who like crackhead kind of thing, like going crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I don't know what it is when people on drugs, they're like, they turn into animals.
Yeah.
All right, guys, taking a quick break from Honor Among Thieves podcast to bring you a word from our sponsor. And that is Federal Prison Tips. At Federal Prison Tips, we help people navigate the justice system from indictment, re-entry, everywhere in between. Whether you're a loved one trying to get relief for someone that you love that is in federal prison, you are currently in federal prison, or about to go to federal prison, we can definitely help you. Everything from plea mitigation, sentencing mitigation, PRSAR challenges, anything about guidance while you're in prison, actually what to expect if you're a first timer and have never been there. Whether this is your second case, third case, you haven't quite learned your lesson yet. Either way, we can help you with everything that has to do with federal prison. Good time, FSA, second chance credits, getting designated to a facility. Any issues you might be having within the federal prison system, we can definitely help. Honor Among Thieves podcast. Mention that you saw us on the podcast and you'll get special rates only given to those who listen to the podcast. Again, 407-434-0175, extension 7. hit us up, federalprisontips.com. Contact us. Let them know you heard about them through me. Now let's get back to the show. All right, so I know eventually you get into some trouble, which the way it happened to you could have really happened to anybody because I've seen on many movies and TV shows kind of what happened to you, and I don't think it's a big deal. But so tell me a little bit about how you encounter this friend and the whole situation where that got you in trouble. How did that start?
With being a police officer or after?
No, the first time. Like, yeah.
Okay. So I have a friend, and he had asked me to check if his friend had warrants. He asked me a couple of times, and I just kind of blew him off and said I was busy or whatever.
Right.
And one time I was just sitting in the patrol car, just waiting to go home, and he had texted and said, "Hey, can you check my friend?" Well, I don't know his friend, and I was like, "Okay, why not? I'm fixing to go home. Might as well just do it."
And the cops, like, at no point while you're a cop and while you're getting trained or whatever, did you know, like, no one tells you, hey, you can't do this or this is illegal?
No one tells me, but I kind of know that you're not supposed to. But I don't know that you can get in trouble for it. I thought it was just like hey, don't do that,
Okay.
Because you have to have the record of why you're running someone's name. Did you pull him over? Why did you run his name? And I'm just doing it just because, I don't have a reason.
Right.
Except for my friend asking me. So I run his name. He wants to know if he has active warrants, and I see that he has an active warrant. So I'm getting ready to go home, put my stuff from the patrol car to my car. So, I don't want to sit there and text him and be like, "Hey, this is what I saw," or whatever. So I just take a picture of it and shoot it over to him and go home.
Okay.
Think nothing of it.
All right. So what happens the next day? Nothing? Just...
Nothing happens the next day. A regular day. Nothing happens for at least 6 to 8 months, I guess.
6 to 8 months?
It was a while. I don't remember exactly how long. Nothing happens. Everything's fine. And then some agents come talk to me.
Did the warrant show what they were looking for him for? Or?
It did. It says everything in detail, but, I'm not reading it. I just saw,
warrant and
the active warrant, and
okay.
I just said, yeah, he does.
Okay. So 6 to 8 months later, federal agents show up to
my job.
To interrogate you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
To question me at work. I'm in full gear. They just set me down in the room and said, "Hey, do you know this guy that you ran?" Of course, I don't remember him. And I tell them, "No, I don't remember this guy. I didn't run his name. I really don't know. I run people, and it's been this long. I don't know." So to him, I'm lying. To me, I'm lost. I don't know who this is. So he said, "Are you related to this guy? Do you know him? How do you know him?" And I'm telling this agent, "I don't know who this is. I don't know." So then he brings my friend's name, who had asked me to run the name initially. And I was like, "Yeah, I know him." He said, "Did he tell you to run this guy's name?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, but that was like a long time ago."
Right.
And that's where it all started.
And again, you don't even know that that's illegal. That's why you're honest with them, because you're just like...
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was up front. I was like, "Yeah, I did."
Okay. So what do the feds do after that?
They said that the guy that I ran, he had a federal hold. So that means they are watching him, and feds are watching him, and that I alerted or tipped him off that he was being watched by that federal hold, the active warrant.
Okay. Did you ever find out if the feds ended up catching him?
No, I don't even know.
No idea?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So what happens? Like, what happens next?
So they gave me time to find an attorney and said that this was a felony.
It was a felony.
It's a felony
Wow.
conviction. So I find an attorney. They book me and release me the same day. And
The state books you and release you, right? Not the feds.
The state, yeah.
The state, okay.
Charge. So the agents need to come in to verify that, yes, I did do what. So they came, book me and release me the same day. They give me 4 years deferred probation.
So
For
how
that.
long from? Walk me through a little bit. So the feds come, they interrogate you, right?
Mhm.
That same day, or the next day. What, like, how does it happen? The next day you go into work and they tell you, hey, this is gonna happen. This. Like, walk me through how long it takes.
I think they gave me like I think it was like a week or two after they came and spoke with me and said that they were gonna come. Well, they didn't tell me they were gonna arrest me. They just came to record me saying yes, I did do it,
Right.
and then they go back and pursue charges, and then that's when they come and arrest me like 2 weeks later.
Right, but I'm saying your chief gave you a heads up, right? Like, he told you, hey, this is gonna happen, or
No, he didn't even know about it. He gave me a heads up that they were there to speak to me, but when I talked to my attorney, he was like, hey, they're probably going to come in the next 2 weeks, so be prepared. Well, I'm still working. My chief is like, come to work, save your money. You haven't been convicted yet. It's okay. Even after going to jail for 2 hours and being released, he allowed me still to go to jail.
okay.
I mean,
To
still
stay
to go
working.
to work.
Right. Okay, so that how long does that whole process take from when you're released? Like, I know you ended up getting 4 years deferred probation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to go to court in the meanwhile? What happens?
I don't go to court because that was the plea.
That
The
was
plea.
what they offered and you took it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was they told me that was the best that I was going to get, so I didn't even try to fight it.
Interesting, considering your story and what happens later.
Yeah.
All right. So do you end up having to leave the department?
I have to leave the department, yes. And then, so my chief at the time, he was like, hey, just get this done over with, get off of probation early and we'll take you back. You're a good officer.
Okay.
We'll take you back. But the thing is, if you have, well, I know it's not a conviction if you complete probation, but it's still there. And, they don't like that on there. So I probably would have been accepted back. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So what are you doing for work now once you get on probation?
Probation. I'm just not doing anything.
So you're just home?
I'm just home. I took out my I had what is it, the 401k or whatever. I take that money out and live off of that for a while until I figure out what
to do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now to get to the plot twist of your story. At this point, like, are all your kids born and you kind of like, you're a single mom?
My kids are grown. My kids are in their 20s. Yes.
Okay. You're still a single mom at this point,
Still a
right?
single mom. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now we get to the climax of your story, right? So let's get into how you meet this guy and then what happens next and all that. So I remember you saying originally you had met him through a mutual friend.
A mutual friend. So
Okay, so tell me how you guys met and all that.
So after I turned in my resignation with the police officer, I took out my 401k and I just have free time. So I have a mutual friend who comes to Amarillo a lot, and he's always calling saying, hey, come out, come hang out, have a drink or whatever. And I always blow him off, I'm busy, no, I can't, whatever. And this one day he's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. He said, come out for a little bit. And I said, I got some running around to do. If I'm done in time, then I'll come see you. Well, that was at lunchtime, and it was already like 5 o'clock. And I said, okay, I'm going to call him. If he answers and says he's there, then I'll go. If not, then I'm staying home. It's meant for me to stay home. So I texted him and I said, you still out? And he said, yes, come on. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I ended up going out. He's there with all his other friends. He's just introducing me to everybody. And he introduced me to his other friend. And that's where trouble starts.
Okay, so you meet the other guy at the bar and you guys kind of hit it off from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're just texting back and forth. He's like, what's your name? How do you know our mutual friend? And, just simple. So we exchanged social media that night. And then for a month, we're just like texting back and forth, whatever. And then we decided just to meet up and start hanging out.
Okay. And that's like a couple weeks of just kind of like a couple dates and getting to know each other, that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What, were you like officially a couple?
I don't think yet.
Not
We were
even?
just
Just kind of dating, getting to know each other?
getting to know each other.
Okay. I mean, at some point, I remember he asked you to come with him to come meet his family. So obviously, I think he was considering like getting serious with you, I guess, right?
I thought so. So we had met at the beginning of the month. No, we met up at the beginning of the month. And then towards the middle, he was like, hey, go with me out of town to meet my uncles and aunts and cousins. And I was like, okay, he wants me to meet his family. Okay. So he said it's going to be a day trip just to go and come. His uncle
So you guys live in Amarillo, and where did they live?
in Dallas. Well, the main reason we were going, he said his uncle had, I don't know if he said he had COVID or he had passed from COVID. I don't remember. But we were going over there because all his family was there because of his uncle. And I was thinking, okay, I can meet the family, and then his uncle's sick or whatever. So, I'll be there for him for that.
Okay.
So I told my kids, I don't like to leave my girls. And I was like, we're just going to go and come. We're just going to go over there, check on his uncle, meet his family. And then
I'll
we'll
be right back. I swear, I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Man, life. How far is Dallas from Amarillo?
About 5 hours.
5 hours. Okay. So you guys go.
Mm-hmm.
You leave early in the morning?
We leave, like around, not that early, maybe 7 or 8 in the morning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You get there in the afternoon.
We get there in the afternoon.
You meet his family.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like his family?
I was kind of just felt like the odd one out. I was just like sitting back, watching, listening.
Okay. Was he there?
He was outside with the guys, inside it was mainly females.
Okay. So you don't even really know what he's up to. He's kind of like outside doing whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. How long do you stay there?
A couple hours, maybe 3 hours, maybe.
All right. Then you leave.
And then we leave.
And nothing set you off up until that point? You were just like a normal day?
Yeah.
Just, okay.
He just said, are you ready to go? I said, yeah.
On the way back, tell me what happens.
On the way back, we gas up in Dallas. Well, we didn't gas up all the way. I think we just put gas, and then we start driving back to Amarillo.
Should have gassed up.
Yeah, well, we stopped at another store in Decatur, and we wanted some drinks, water, whatever. He was drinking Red Bull, to keep him awake to drive the rest of the way. So we stopped, filled up the rest of the way, and then got our drinks. What is that, Tarrant County?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So at what point do you pull into the gas station? Walk me through when the whole situation at the gas station happens.
He's driving, and I'm in the passenger seat. We pull up, put gas. He goes in, buys the drinks, pays for the gas, comes out and pumps the gas. Well, I'm sitting in the passenger seat the whole time, and I look over to my left, and there's a Tarrant County police officer sitting there. Well, his car's facing my car, and my car is facing, the convenience store. Well, I keep seeing him put his head up and watching everything that he was doing. So I rolled down the window, and I was like, this guy's watching you. I said, he's racial profiling you. I said, maybe because you're wearing sweats. I don't know. Maybe because you're in this car. I don't know. He said, why? Why do you say that? And I said, because he keeps looking up, just being weird, So he's like, no, he's just sitting there. Well, I know he's doing something. And I was like, just because he's black, wearing sweatpants. It's obviously racial profiling.
Did he know that you used to be a cop?
Who?
The guy you're dating?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think he used that at some point, like he did that on purpose, or do you at this point believe you were genuinely dating because you liked each other?
I didn't figure that out till after.
No, I know, but in retrospect, like
No.
because of you guys, you never thought like maybe because you used to be a cop or something that he
No.
wanted. Okay. Even now,
No, totally different thought.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we even get there, so all right. So you guys leave the gas station.
We leave the gas station and we're not even on the highway yet. So, and immediately after we pull out of the gas station, the cop comes around and is right behind us. And I said, look, he's going to pull you over because why did he do that? And so we crossed the bridge because to get to Amarillo, I think you have to cross the bridge and go around to get on the highway. I don't remember. So when we're crossing the bridge, that's when he turns his lights on. And I told him, I said, it was in February, so it had just snowed and there was ice all over the road. And I told him, I said, for our safety and for his safety, I said, get off the bridge. It's very icy and cars are having to, circle around us to get around. I said, somebody's going to hit us or, somebody's going to hit him. And I'm thinking, like, police, I don't want him to get hurt because, so get off the road. So we pull into a bigger truck stop. We pull in and he follows us and I was like, what is he pulling us over for? I mean, we stopped, we signaled, everything was right. I don't know why he's pulling us over. And I was like, it's because he's racial profiling, I don't know. Why?
Right, because at that point you don't have any other information. Like,
No.
Okay. So you get pulled over. What happens when the cop gets off and walks towards what does the cop say? What happens?
He asks for, driver's license and insurance, and he gives him his, and I give him mine and the insurance card. But he has the driver's side. He's on the driver's side. So I'm having to reach over and, tell him, here's my license.
Because you guys were driving your car?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I give him everything, and I'm reaching over, giving it to him. And he said, okay, I'll be back. Let me go run your name. Whatever. So I'm like, okay, fine. So at the time, this guy has a mile-long criminal record.
That you're not aware of?
No.
Mm.
He had just got out of prison, too. I did not know.
He hadn't told you?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
So he comes back. I don't know what he saw on his computer. I don't know. So he comes back, and he's even more suspicious, I guess, because
he saw his criminal record.
Uh-huh. So he comes around and starts asking me questions, if he can search the car and how do I know him? What were we doing in Dallas? And why were we only there for a day? Why don't I have clothes if we were? And I said, because we went for a day. I had my makeup bag and that's about it, He said, why were we just making a day trip? And I said, we're going to see family, I got kids. I got to be back home. So, I'm thinking nothing of it. And then he pulls him out of the car, pulls me out of the car. And I don't know what he's questioning him about. And I don't know. So he comes back to me and he's asking if I give him consent to search. I don't know why. I mean, don't you have to have probable cause, reasonable suspicion, something to, why are you asking? So I say no. I said no. Well, I guess that makes me more suspicious, I guess, because I'm not letting him. But I'm not going to, why would I say yes? I mean, so he's like, okay, I'm calling a dog out here. And I'm like, for what? Why? And he's like, I got a reasonable suspicion that there's narcotics in this car. And I was like, okay, whatever. So he puts me back in the patrol car. It is freezing cold out there that day. Cold. It's February. So I'm not in cuffs or anything. I'm just sitting back there. And he is he's still outside. So he starts calling all these other backups and then calls for a canine, whatever. So he gets into the patrol car and he said when he ran my license plate, it came back to a maroon SUV. And it was a silver Camaro. And the reason he pulled us over is because the plate wasn't matching the car. But I was like, what was your initial reason for running the car tags? Well, he couldn't give me a reason. Nothing. So that was his whole thing, that the tags were switched. Well, he had the numbers inverted. That's why it came out. So.
There's some dyslexia.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So does he call for backup?
He calls for backup, and then the drug dog comes out there. K9. Circles the car.
Are cops, when you say no to a search, are they allowed to do that?
Are they allowed to?
To bring the canine?
Yeah, if they have.
Probable cause?
Yes, to search.
Which he really didn't.
He didn't. I mean, he said that we were, in his report, that we were acting suspicious by not talking, I think he said, and fidgety with our hands or stuff.
I guess.
I know. So he brought the dog out there. The dog circles around, I think, like twice. And then he hits on the driver's side door. So that's when he was like, okay, we need to search. So he waits for his backup to come. They open the driver's side door. There's nothing in there. They go search the whole car, and then they open the trunk. And then I see him because I'm sitting in the patrol car and I can see them. And they start high-fiving each other and doing a little dance and, saying thumbs up.
And you can't see the trunk, so you don't know what's in there?
No. I know something's in there because why? High-fiving and doing dance saying, yeah, we got him, yeah. So I know something. And then they come in. They tell me to turn around, put my hands behind my back, and put handcuffs. And that's when they start telling me what was in the car and what I was being charged with.
What was in the car?
8 kilos of methamphetamine.
8 kilos? Shit. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
That's a dick move to do, especially to a girl you just met.
Yeah.
He had your car. He just met you. What an idiot. Anyway. All right. Side note, meth usually is like a white trash hillbilly thing, biker gang thing. Mm-hmm. He wasn't a white guy, was he?
No, he's a black guy.
Interesting. Is it common for, is that common in Texas?
I don't know. But after all this happens, what I'm hearing is that he was working with a Mexican cartel. I don't know how true that is.
I mean, that makes sense because 8 kilos is a lot of drugs. All right. So obviously you're like blown away. 8 kilos of meth. What do you do they put you in separate cop cars at that point and they take you away separately, or what happens?
I really don't remember. I think they have us separated and they drive us to the Tarrant County jail.
But separate. You guys weren't in the same cop car?
No.
Okay. Because I wanted to ask, what did you tell, after you saw the drugs, what did you tell them, but you didn't get the chance?
I don't think we were in the same car because I don't remember talking to him.
All right.
So we go to the jail. He's on one side and I'm on the other side. So we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden they call me out into a little room, and he's banging on the window, and he's like, don't go, don't go, don't go. And I'm like, I have to. They're calling me out. I have to do, I have no free will right now. So I go into this little room, and there's 2 agents, and they have the cell phone, and they have a guy on there. I guess their boss or whatever. And he's asking.
2 federal agents? Mm-hmm. Ooh, DA?
I guess so.
Oh, wow.
So they're questioning me, asking me, tell us where you got it. Tell us where you were. Tell us the address. I don't know. I don't come to Dallas. I don't know what part of town. I don't know if I'm in Fort Worth. I don't know if I'm in Dallas. I don't know where I'm at. So they're telling me, where did he get it from? I don't know. And I'm telling them, I promise you on everything. I don't know. I don't know. And they're thinking I'm lying.
They think you're lying because you're his
They
girlfriend.
say that we'll get you out of here or you can go home if you just tell us everything. And I'm telling you.
But you really didn't know.
No, I'm telling you, I don't know. They were like, where were you at? I said, at his family's house. I was inside. They said, "Did he have your keys to your car?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Did you see him leave?" "No." "Where did he go?" "I don't know." You know, they're asking me everything, and I don't know. I said, "I was inside with everyone else. I don't know." So they're like, "Okay, go back to the holding."
In retrospect, you guys went to Dallas for him to pick up drugs, not visit family, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to come back to the question. With that in mind, did you think he dated you because you used to be a cop?
Yes, but at that point, I'm still not seeing it.
You don't realize until way later?
No, I don't realize till way later.
Okay. All right, so you're in that county jail, which is, that's far from home, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. So they take you back to the jail cell.
Mhm.
What happens next?
So, I can hear him yelling. You know, he's like, "Don't worry, we're gonna get out. We're getting bonded out." So I'm like, "Okay." He said, "You're not gonna go to the back, you know, because I've never been in jail. I've been a police officer." He said, "Don't worry, you'll be there."
Well, except for that one time where you got booked for the whole.
Yeah,
the
but
whole
that
thing,
was
right?
like an in and out thing. I mean, I was in that jail for like an hour.
Mm.
The in and out. They didn't want me there because I've arrested people in that jail,
Right.
and they didn't want. So he's like, "Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry." Well, shoot, this was like at 11, 12 at nighttime.
All right, so he's telling you you're going to bond out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
So this is already late. I don't remember what time because all day. I want to say like midnight almost. So it comes to early in the morning. I want to say like 6, 7 in the morning when they take me back to the
Right.
population. I'm like, "Oh crap, what do I do? Am I staying in here? What's going on?" Because he had just told me we're getting out, we're leaving. So I get my things, you know, your mattress, everything. They give you a bag, toilet paper, toothbrush. I go back there and I get a bunk set, get the blanket and cover my head. And I was like, I'm in there with 3 other females. And I lay down and cover my head. And on the loudspeaker, they call me back out. And I was like, "Okay, I'm leaving." So I just leave everything and I just go. And we were both bonded out that next morning.
How much was the bond?
$8,500 each.
$8,500 each.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was definitely a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the conversation with him like after you guys get out?
I'm just scared. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say. And he's telling me, "Don't worry, don't worry." He said that cop wasn't doing his
your
job.
instinct wasn't to be like, "Bro, why did you put me in that situation? Why did you have
Oh yeah,
drugs?"
yeah, yes.
Okay. And
Mhm.
he's just like, "Oh."
He's just avoiding it. He's just not answering me. I said, "What were you doing? Why?" You know, I don't know why. And he's telling me, "Don't worry, don't worry. It's gonna go away. It'll go away."
What a dick, man.
Mhm.
Anyway. So you guys go home
Mhm.
at that point.
We drive home.
Do you end up telling your kids what happened?
Well, my kids were calling my phone like crazy, and my phone was off, and they don't know what to think. So they were like, our last thing was like, "You're in the hospital or you're in jail," and I was like, "Yeah, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my kids. I didn't tell anybody until it came out on the news," and that's when
You should have told your family.
I know, I didn't want to.
I mean, I know, but now it looks worse, right?
I know.
How long did it take for it to come out on the news?
A little while, not long though. I don't remember how long, but yeah, it came on the news. Everybody was sending it to my mom.
Well. Okay. You know what's crazy? The day I got arrested, I mean, obviously I called my family right when I got arrested, but my sister the next day when I bonded out and I went home, she sent me a video of me getting arrested on Channel 7 News.
Really?
Yeah, I actually use it in my intro now. And I have like an intro video for the podcast, and it's like a video of me getting arrested.
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to look.
I'll show it to you later. So what happens at that point?
After
Like your family, you have to be honest with your family at this point, I'm assuming,
yeah.
right? Okay.
So he's telling me everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna get it taken off. He has the best lawyer, whatever. So I have to go talk to my mom. So I go talk to my mom. My mom's crying because we've never dealt with something like this, never been in a situation like this.
Right.
I don't even want to talk to her. So I go in there and she said, "You're going to prison for a long time. You're going to prison." She's saying that because everyone else is telling her,
That's how Hispanic parents are.
Mhm.
It's a trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's anyway. Yeah.
So she's crying. She says, "You're going to be gone for a long time. And I'm telling her, no. He's telling me it's okay, that he knows what he's doing. He's got a lawyer. I don't have nothing to worry about. I'm believing him. He's making everything sound good. And
Are you guys still together at that point?
yeah. Well, now I feel like I have to because I'm in this mess with him. I feel like I have to because he's going to help me take it off,
Right.
get rid of it. So I tell my mom, everything's going to be fine. Don't worry. And that's what I'm thinking to myself too. I'm thinking everything's okay. So I talked to my girls too, and I was like, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. So if my kids see that I'm okay, then they're okay. So.
Right. Okay. So what's the next step? Like, what happens with? Do you meet with a lawyer? Do you?
No,
But-
he's doing all the lawyer talking and
So
everything.
you never get involved in any of that.
I don't get involved in anything. I just want it to go away. I just keep on him. Did you talk to the lawyer? Did you call your lawyer? That's all.
So when's the next time you got like an update on the case or you found something out?
I think state, don't they have like a 2-year statute? I think they have.
I mean, yeah. So initially it was a state case.
It was a state case.
Okay. And then,
So we're coming up on the 2 years of the statute.
wow. Okay.
And he's like,
We're good.
yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, we're good.
Because in the state, if they don't charge you within 2 years, then they have to drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So he's telling me,
Good
the
old
state
fast.
he's telling me the state is fixing to drop it. If we have 2 years, we're coming up on that 2 years. Don't worry.
it's going to go away.
So I'm like, okay.
Okay. So eventually, I'm assuming the state pulls away and they drop the case.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So at that point, you're probably like, oh my God, all right, great. It's going away.
Mhm.
Then what happens?
I live across the street from a park, and I always see different cars there, just parked. So my girls are like, that car's there again, that car's there again. So we go pass by, and I know they're watching the house. So we go make it obvious, say, hey, I know you're watching my house. So we just always pass by, watch them like duck down or whatever. And then they'll leave, and then the
Did you
next
know who
day-
they were?
No. I kind of figured, but I don't know who they are. But I kind of figured, and I was like, well, I don't know why they're still here. I said, because they dropped the case. Now they're watching to try to bring something else. That's what I'm thinking. So we see them. I see them watching. I know they're there. Like almost for a while. I want to say, I don't know when we noticed them. Maybe almost a year that they're just there.
So they follow you and
No, they're
watch
not.
you.
They're not following me. They're just parked.
But
there.
I'm saying watching you at your house for a year. Wow.
I don't know a year exactly, but
But it was a long time.
it was a long time.
Wow. Okay. And at this point, you don't really know.
I don't know
You
because
just,
the
like-
state had dropped the
And
case.
but you think in your mind, you're thinking they're cops.
I'm thinking they're cops watching because the state dropped it and they want to find something else.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So obviously, being a former police officer, you kind of still have that mindset.
Mhm.
I would say that helped you a lot because you were a lot more conscious of situations than
Yeah.
the average person.
Yeah.
Okay. So all that time passes. They're still watching you. Obviously, you're probably like, they can watch all they want because I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So months go by after the state drops the case.
I'm going to say a year and a half goes by.
Okay.
Mhm.
A lot of time passes.
A lot
So
of
this is like 3.5 years after you get arrested?
I want to say it was a long time.
Like years after you get arrested?
I want to say
Okay.
like 3 years maybe.
Okay. Wow. All right. So, walk me through it. What happens next?
I'm still on probation, deferred probation. So
But that's probably you'll have almost nothing left on that, right? At that point.
I have completed 2 years of that And
Okay.
I have 4 years of that to finish. So every morning I'm going to do my community service, I just want to finish all my hours and pay all the money and just, coast it the rest of the way. So at that time I'm doing as many hours as I can every morning. So I remember that day I go do my community service and I get home and I make a lasagna, and that was my last home meal, until the agents come knocking on my door.
Okay. So the feds come knocking.
2 federal agents came knocking on my door.
They arrested you?
They arrested me. I opened the door and I don't know who they're there for.
Right.
So I opened, and the funny thing is, I went to the police academy with these 2 guys. So I opened the door and they say, Stephanie, and yeah. They're like, we're here for a warrant for you. And the light goes on in my head, and I was like, shit.
They were watching you the whole time.
No, it's because of that case.
The case, the feds picked it up.
Yeah. So I said, okay, I need to put shoes on. So they immediately follow me to the bedroom. They're looking around. I know they're looking around. Put my shoes on, and my daughter is right there. And I was like, ugh. So I hug her and I just whisper in her ear, I was like, everything's going to be okay. I'll call you. Just everything's going to be okay. I don't know what to tell her. She's crying hysterically. So then they booked me into the federal hold in the county jail.
How long until you got out after that?
I go into, as soon as they arrested me, see, I'm sitting on the bench right there waiting to get booked in. I'm sitting there for about 15, 20 minutes. And then I hear other people coming in, getting booked in. And I look up and it's him. So they had went to get him. And he's looking at me like, why are you here? And I just looked at him and I was just so mad.
Okay. So how long was it before you got out again?
I was in federal hold for about a year, almost a year and a half.
Why didn't they give you bond?
Everybody gets a chance to PR bond, and she told me I had a 33% chance of getting the PR bond, and I didn't get it.
But you have, besides the one thing where you're on probation, you had never gotten in trouble. And you're a woman and you have kids. Like, I don't understand the reasoning behind not giving you bond. It made no sense.
I don't know.
Him, I get it. He was a career criminal, but you?
I think that's why, because I was connected to him, like
Because
dating
you his
him.
girlfriend?
I think so.
The feds are so petty, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The things I've seen. All right, so you're in county. Do you have an arraignment?
I had an arraignment.
How soon after you got booked?
Maybe like 2 days.
Okay. Do you end up going with your own lawyer?
I don't have money for a lawyer. They gave me a
Public defender.
court.
Okay. So what happens with him and his? Oh no, I remember now. You both end up going to trial.
We ended up going.
And
to
it was
trial.
you both went to trial together. They didn't separate your cases.
No.
Okay.
That's a co-defendants go together.
Were you from the get? Were you saying you were gonna go to trial from the beginning?
Yes.
Did they offer you plea deals before you went to trial?
2 plea deals before I went.
What'd they offer?
As soon as I got to the county jail, they brought me my discovery, and they said what I was being charged with, I would be facing 22 to 25 years.
For doing what? The feds are wild, man.
Yeah.
The feds are wild. It doesn't surprise me, though, because I went to the feds, and I have a lot of friends who went to the feds, so I've seen many outrageous things.
I think
Your story by far is the most outrageous, though.
I think they give you a big number to begin with to scare you,
100%.
so you can start talking, because that's when they start asking questions.
Yep.
Who are you hanging out with? Who,
But they're so...
And then that's when they go down. They say, okay, if you tell us who was he with, whose house did you go to,
Right.
then we'll bring the time down. We'll lower the time. That's where they start with a big number so they can work their way down.
A friend of mine recently told me something, and I thought it was pretty smart. He said, real police work happens at the state level. Those are real detectives. They really have to investigate, find real evidence. At the Fed level, they're not. That's not police work.
Because they scare you.
They just scare people into talking, and they say whatever.
Yeah.
When you scare someone, and you throw someone 20, like, oh, you're gonna do. They'll say whatever.
Yeah.
They'll say whatever not to do 25 years in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think the feds are sloppy. They're arrogant because they have a lot of power, so they think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And they don't bother to really do real police work and find the truth.
Well, it is scary seeing your name on.
Of course. I've been there. I've been there. All right, so they offer you 25 years.
22 to 25.
And obviously, I'm assuming you were like, no, I didn't do anything. I'm not going to go to 25 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you say no.
I say no.
And you said, I'm going to trial.
I'm going to trial. And then I think for about 3 months, I have this attorney, and, I like her. She wants to help me. After 3 months, she says that she needs to drop my case because it's, what is it called? What do they call that? Shoot, I forgot.
It's all right. She has to drop your case, and then what?
She has to drop my case. And so I have to be, the judge tells me that I can get my own attorney or they're going to give me another public defender. Well, I don't have any money. And I was like, okay, give me another public defender. And I'm telling my girls, I said, start calling around everybody, seeing if anybody wants to pro bono my case. I said, tell them everything that I'm going through, my whole situation, who my co-defendant is. I need help. So they don't, they can't get in touch with anybody or whatever. So I take this other public defender, and I do not like her.
Did she not want to help you from the beginning?
She was trying to get me to sign the whole time. She wasn't willing to listen to my story, listen to how I met this guy or what we went to Dallas for. She didn't want to hear it.
She sounds like a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. The first one dropped because it's a conflict of interest. So she had to.
Why was it a conflict of interest?
She wouldn't tell me. I asked.
Okay. All right. Well, that happens.
Yeah.
So you get the next lawyer. You don't like her. She's just trying to get you to sign a plea deal. Do you get more deals?
I get more deals. After, I want to say like 8 months of being there, she goes down and says 9 to 11 years. That if I sign right at that moment, I would get 9 to 11 years.
That's a huge difference from the first plea deal. The first plea deal was 22 to 25. Mm-hmm. So what are you thinking at that point?
I asked her, I said, why did it go down, this much? And I'm telling her, show me, what do they have on me? Why did they go down? What are they doing? And she was like, I don't know that. That's just what she has to tell me because that's what the prosecutor had offered her to tell me. She says, I don't know what they have. I don't know what she says, but this is a good deal. You'd never been in trouble besides the deferred probation. And this is what they want to offer you. She says, but this offer is going to go away really quickly, so you need to sign now. And I said, no.
At that point, were you convinced that we're going to come back with another deal? Or you were like, I don't care what they bring. I'm just going to go to trial.
I figured they might come down a little more. But, I wasn't going to do 5 years. I wasn't going to do any time. I wanted to go home. And that's why I told her, I said, I'm going home. I'm not going to do any prison time. I'm going home. And she was like, no, this is your best deal. 9 to 11, sign it. So, yeah, she was not on my side, and she knew I didn't like her. So I wrote her a letter, and I wrote the judge a letter saying that I didn't want her on my case, and I wanted a different attorney. So they took me back to court, and he said, as big as his case was, that every public defender was working for all his co-defendants, because apparently he had multiple co-defendants that I don't know about. And every attorney in that area was busy, having them as clients. So the judge said there is nobody absolutely to defend me, a public defender, because they were all being used up. He said, unless you go out and buy your own. And he said, do you know
Like represent yourself?
Represent my own.
Which
myself.
They said pro se. So that's what they call it, right?
Yeah. So the judge said, this was already almost up to my trial date. So he said, okay, work with her for 2 or 3 days and see how it works out. And then we'll go to trial. And so every time she calls me on the jail phone, I get on there because I have to answer her call. And then she says, hi, how are you? And I hang up. Because I told her, you're not my attorney. And I said, you're not supposed to be calling up here. You are not representing me. I don't want to talk to you. And I would hang up. Well, I would go back to the pod. And she would call again. So I would go out there again. And I said, stop calling me. I just didn't want her. I didn't tell her anything. She was asking all these questions. And I was like, I'm not talking to you. I said, every time you come visit me, we're just going to look at each other. And if you call on the phone, I'm going to hang up on you. You know, I didn't want her. And so by that time, we were starting to go to trial. We're doing jury selection and all that stuff.
How long had you been in jail at that point?
Before trial? About 1.5 years.
You've been in jail for 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. What was jail like that whole time?
Jail seems scary, but to me, it was just, repetitive. I mean, same thing every day. You eat the same thing. You do the same thing. I mean, it's not hard to do. The only hard thing was my kids, I just wanted to be with my girls. But jail wasn't hard. I mean, I stayed to myself. I didn't talk to anybody. Just pretty much stayed to myself.
You stayed out of trouble? You never had any trouble while you were in there?
No.
I mean, you seem like a nice enough person, I'm sure.
I had a job in the kitchen, and that kind of made the days go by faster, but...
All right. So right before you're about to go to trial, do the feds come at you with another deal?
Not at that time. We go to jury selection, and then the day of the actual trial was going to start. That's when the prosecutor had called my attorney, and they disappeared. And I'm looking at my girls, and I'm like, what happened? Let's get started. I want to go home. And she comes in all excited. She's like, I have great news. I need to talk to you right now. So I'm like, okay, what? And she gets down and she says, do you give me your permission to talk to your girls outside? And I was like, yeah. And I said, if they want to, then yeah. So she goes back and talks to them, and she comes back with my girls, and my girls are crying. Their faces are red, and they're crying where they can't breathe. And I'm like, what did she tell them? I don't know what's going on. I just see the prosecutor over there, and she's just looking at me. And then the public defender comes in, and she's like giddy, like excited. My girls are crying, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm thinking, am I going home? Because she said, I have great news. I don't know. My kids are crying. I'm like, are they crying because they're excited? I don't know. So she bends down, and she's like, okay, the prosecutor just asked me if you will sign right now and don't continue this trial, she will give you 5 years. She said, and you've already done 1.5 years. She says, you'll be out soon. She goes, oh, you got maybe another 1.5 years. She goes, you'll be home. And I looked at her, and I looked at my girls, and they're like, telling me, begging me, please say yes, please, please. Because she's already told them what's going to happen.
Right.
And if I don't sign for these 5 years, then I'm going to be gone for 20 years. That's what she's telling them. And I look at her, and I said, look at those girls. This is what I told her. And I said, I'm going home to them. I'm not going to prison with him. I said, I'm taking it to trial. She says, are you sure? She goes, do you want to take a break and go back to the holding upstairs and think about it? I said, no. Let's finish. So we continued.
All right, guys, taking a quick break from the podcast to talk to you about Gus Villa Jewelry. Yo, let's be real here for a second. If you're rocking plain jewelry in Miami, of all places, you are doing it 100% wrong, my boy. Step your game up with Gus Villa Jewelry, the plug for real Cuban link gold and silver chains. And of course, the cleanest Rolexes in all of Miami. This isn't factory made or watered down or any of that stuff. This is high quality, custom, handmade stuff that shines from here to the moon. It turns heads, starts conversations, and makes you look fresh. Gus has something that'll level up your whole vibe. And because you're locked in here with us at Honor Among Thieves Podcast, you're getting a hookup. Use the promo code Montana at checkout. Get 5% off your entire order. That's right, 5% off. Go check them out at gusvillajewelry.com or pull up on them in the Diamond District down here in downtown Miami. gusvillajewelry.com. Again, that's gusvillajewelry.com. And tell them your boy Montana sent you. Gus Villa Jewelry. Now back to the podcast. All right, so you're at trial and you're representing yourself. What were you aware of the chances of winning a trial, and not just winning a trial, like the chances of winning a trial and not even having a lawyer? Were you aware of all that at the time? You weren't. I think it was good, because if you would have known, you wouldn't have went to trial. At least I don't think so.
I wasn't even thinking about the bad part about it. Like if I would have lost, how much time I would have done. None of that negativity is going through my head.
Good.
I'm thinking I'm going home.
That's the reason you won.
The whole time, the whole year and a half in there, I'm telling myself I'm going home. I'm going home. But I can't tell my girls that during court, during the trial, because I don't want them to be like, oh, she thinks she's going home. We're going to. So I'm looking at them and I'm telling the girls, I said, I'm going to trial. You know, I can't tell them why. I can't write them a note, because if I write them a note, she's going to read it.
Right.
You know, I'm not letting her know anything.
Because at this point, you think she's compromised. Like, you know that she's not on your side.
No.
Which is not unusual, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I told her what I wanted in my opening statement and my closing statement. I was not called up on there. So I told her, and she wrote it and typed it up herself. And she was like, are you sure you want me to read this the way it is? I said, read it. She says, if I read it the way it is, she said, you're convicting him. I said, he already convicted himself. I said, don't put that on me. I said, I'm going home with them, not to prison with him. I said, you read it word for word how it's written. And she said, okay. So she went up there, and I told her the parts to be a little animated. I said, this is when you stress and raise your voice. I said, I want this part pushed out. And she did.
You remember what it said? Not entirely, but you remember more or less what it said?
They were trying to make it out like if I was living a lavish lifestyle off of drug money. And I told her,
of course,
I said,
the DEA would do that. The feds are ridiculous.
I said, I still live in the same house. I still have the same car. I said, I don't have anything. I said, I don't do my nails. I don't go shopping. I said, everything's the same of before I met him. I said, you can go talk to my landowner. This whole time, I said, I'm always behind on rent. I said, check my bills. They're always late. I said, if I had all this money, I would be paid up and I would, live a better lifestyle. I said, no. I said, I still owe my car payment. I said, stress to those parts. And then another thing is when they found a shoebox in my trunk, which had drugs in it too. And I said, was that a female shoebox or was it a male shoebox? It was a size 10 male shoebox. I said, okay, I'm size 6. I said, 5.5, 6. I said, stress on those parts. And so she did.
Okay. So what ends up happening after she reads the letter in the court?
She reads my closing statement, and then the same day they come with the verdict. I want to say,
how long did the trial last?
5 days. With jury
short.
With jury selection and everything, 5 days.
That's really short.
Yeah.
And what happens during the trial? Like, do you ever get up, say anything, object?
No.
Why not?
There's no reason for me to. I mean, it's more of him, It's his name, his friends, his actions, everything. My name in that whole entire thing never comes up. Only pertaining to that traffic stop, me being in the passenger seat.
So
he had more charges on him. See, I only had the conspiracy and then manufacturing, delivering. He had more. So for them to convict him, they had to more stress on everything.
Right.
So they were bringing more things under him, and they couldn't say very much under me. I mean, they took my cell phone. Still to this day, they will not release my cell phone. And on my acquittal, it says all my property should be returned. And I call them and they will not return it to me. But yeah, they have my cell phone. They looked at everything and there's absolutely nothing in there.
So a 5-day trial, and they never bring your name up besides the traffic stop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, the jury had to decide what they decided because there was no evidence of anything.
No, nothing.
Your name doesn't even get brought up. So you don't even have to say anything. So you did end up representing yourself, but you didn't even really have
The
to.
only thing I did was tell her what to write in the opening
and the closing statement.
closing. Mm-hmm.
All right. Tell me about the day the jury read the verdict. How were you feeling?
Nervous, of course. I mean, I'm not even thinking that they're going to convict me. I don't have a good feeling, like I'm excited. It's still scary.
Right.
I want to tell you, it's still scary, but I still know I'm going home. So I'm obviously crying and I'm shaking, I'm nervous. So I'm looking at my girls and I'm telling them it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So they read his first and and that's scary too, hearing his. And I'm like, okay, what about me? So they come to me next and they start reading my charges, and then the conspiracy, not guilty, and then manufacturing, delivering, not guilty. And I just look back and I just smiled at my girls and I said, I'm coming home.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You beat the feds. I don't even have words for it. That's besides Jason, and even Jason, right? You've met Jason.
Yeah.
He's the only other guy I've ever had on my podcast that's beat the feds. And even him, he lost his second trial, so he beat them, but he didn't really beat them. You beat the feds. I mean, I congratulate you. It takes a lot of courage to stand up to that bully.
Yeah.
I want you to think about how many people that have been in your shoes and were innocent, and in spite of being innocent, signed the plea deal because they fell to the pressure of like, man, these are the feds, you know?
The pressure is there. I mean, they really tell you that, your life is over at that point. That if you don't sign, they kind of like bully you into signing, that you need to do this or, you're gone for
Right.
longer time. I just knew in my head, I said, I'm not guilty of this. I'm not this person. This isn't me. And no, I'm doing it.
Right.
I didn't know the exact odds of, the people who take their case to trial or the high conviction rate of the prosecutors. I know it's pretty high, and I don't know how many people take their case to trial and lose or win. But I know it's very, very low.
Right.
And I was like, I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm going to trial.
So not guilty. You win the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Do they let you go home right after?
No.
Why not?
The judge has to have, since it was after hours on that last day, the judge has to sign off and get the paperwork submitted. So they released me the next day after lunch.
So funny, man. I wish a judge could be in that position for one day.
Yeah.
Just to be like, yeah, I'll do it after lunch.
They still have to shackle me, billy chain me, even though I'm not guilty.
Ridiculous. Anyway. And then you go home the next day.
Then I go home the next day.
What's it like being home?
That. Just breathe.
How long has it been?
2 years. On September 7th.
So you wow.
I just completed my 2 years.
Congratulations. You still on probation?
No.
You're done.
I just completed that too.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. Your story's amazing. You're like a really meek, shy, cute girl, but you don't understand, like, you stood up to the biggest bully there is and you beat him. I need you to understand that. Like, that doesn't happen. Grown men get real gangsters don't stand up to them anymore.
Yeah.
Like people who claim to be real criminals and like they fold and you didn't.
I guess I don't realize and I don't think of what I just won. I just think about, I'm glad I'm home, you know.
Well, it's a big deal. I hope you know that. It's important. It's a big deal and it's inspiring. It really is. So, Stephanie, I always wrap up asking the same couple questions. So, in your case, I'll ask one extra because I want to throw this in there. Now, having been everything you've been through, what's your attitude about police? Having been a former police officer and having been through all that, what do you think about policing?
I had all respect for police officers, you know, even being a police officer. But after both of these things that happened to me, you know, the deferred probation stuff that I was on probation and then going through this with the feds, they're all the same, you know. They just hide it. Yeah.
It's crazy. Especially coming from a former police officer, right?
They have each other's back, you know. They cover stuff up for each other. They're all the same.
What would you say needs to change the most? Like, what's the biggest?
With policing?
Mm-hmm.
They just need to have more respect for that badge, you know. You take an oath. I know I messed that oath up by running somebody's name that I wasn't supposed to. But uphold your duty. If you're gonna arrest somebody for something, don't be doing it, you know, behind hiding it over here, doing the same thing.
Right. All right. So, what's next for you?
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you, whatever it is, please keep putting your story out there because your story is inspiring. And I think you're humble and you're meek and you're shy and you don't give yourself enough credit. Your story is very powerful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you believe in redemption?
I do.
Do you believe you've redeemed yourself?
Yes, and in a way.
What do you mean?
In that way, yes. But in my own life, personal life, no.
Okay. What would you need to do to feel redeemed?
I still feel trapped in a way.
Why?
I think I'm not the same person after being incarcerated for that long.
No one is.
I know it's not a long time. People have been incarcerated longer than that.
No, but you were dragged through a very uncomfortable and painful and scary and enduring process, which I can say because I've been through the same process. But you won.
It just changed something in me. I'm not the same person.
I can't expect. No one should expect you to be the same person. But I think you changed. I think it changed you for the better. I don't think it changed you for the worse. Yeah.
In some ways.
Hard things make us stronger.
Yeah, they do.
You know. So don't think less of yourself because you went through that. It's the opposite. You're a stronger person. You're a better person because you went through that. You won, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you're kind of like you want to hide, but in case people want to connect with you, how can people follow you or anything like that?
I'll give you my
Social media. Sure.
I'll give you my social media. Because of all this, you know, I was kind of trying to stay hidden, and I deactivated my Facebook account, all social media. So I made a TikTok, and that's under an alias.
Sure.
You want me to share it?
Yeah, please.
It's well, I kind of used my real name. It's Perez._Steph STFF.
Cool. Thank you for coming all the way from Texas to be on the show. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, guys, that was another episode of Honor Among Thieves, special with your host, Nelson Rodriguez, with your guest, Stephanie. Push it to the limit. The world is yours. If you're not chasing a dream, life is meaningless, guys. Catch you on the next one. Say goodnight to the bad guy.
FBI, open up!
The FBI swarming a Miami house and taking a man into custody in the area of Southwest.
So say goodnight to the bad guy.
The agency says the 28-year-old was picked up after the grand jury indicted him in 5